Welcome to TriTech University. My name is Bill Steppen, and today we're going to take a look at the customer wish list function of the AIM point of sale system. It's a function that's been around for several versions, so it's nothing really new with version 12, but it's pretty often overlooked, and so I figured I'd go ahead and shine a spotlight on it so we can take a look at some of the features and see how they work, and maybe you'll get some benefit out of it, especially as we head into the holiday season and of course with all the crazy uncertainty that is shipping right now and just stock in general. Will you be able to get your products in time for Christmas and get them delivered to your customers? It's just one more way to keep track of what your customers are looking for and just take one less thing, or one more thing off of your mental plate and let the software handle it. So as always, over to the right is the chat function. Feel free to click to that chat tab, and then down at the bottom is the nickname button. If necessary, you may need to make the window of the browser a little bit bigger if you don't see it down there, but definitely click on that and sign in, and then go ahead and say hi. Let me know you're here, and if you have any questions during this presentation, that is the place to ask those. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and switch over to my broadcast screen, just like we always do. Now, it's a pretty basic system when it comes to the wish list function. It's all self-contained in the modules and inventory menu right here, where you can see right next to my head where it says wish list. And it's boiled literally down to two functions: adding and changing the wish list, and then searching your wish list. So basically the wish list is a customer-centric function found in the inventory module, and it's made entirely up of details that you input into it on a customer-by-customer basis. So let's go ahead and put in a few items here just so we can kind of take a look at this. So we'll start with good old Mike Anderson, my go-to guinea pig of the day, of all time. And down here at the bottom, you can see that it's basically going to have some fields for you to be able to fill in with any information that you can glean from your customer. Primarily, we're looking for a date that the entry is keyed in, the store location and employee that's logged in that are inputting the info, and then anything that we can give. The more detail, the better. But let's go ahead and add a record. So we'll start off by clicking the Add button, and you can see it's going to have us to confirm the date, location, and employee. And then you need to fill in, at minimum, one of these 5 fields down along the bottom. You'll notice if I click to the Save button right away, it's blinking the little helpful red exclamation next to each of these 5 fields. And if we hover over that, you can see it comes up and says at least one of these fields must be set. So we need to give it one of, preferably more than one of, but at least one of the following details: a model number, a barcode, or barring that, a category and potentially subcategory, and maybe a manufacturer. And then ideally as well, some kind of description and how many of them the customer is looking to acquire. So if you've got an official model number of the product from the manufacturer, great. If not, go ahead and leave that blank. If you have a barcode, even better. Go ahead and fill that in. Otherwise, of course, as always, leave that blank, just like the model. If it would fit in nicely into one of your respective categories and or subcategories, feel free to fill that in. And if all else fails and all you can give it is a manufacturer, go ahead and fill that in. Let's just start with something simple, like let's say a guitar. So we'll go to band instruments, and of course it's not a band instrument, it is a guitar. So let's go to guitars, and maybe it's an electric guitar, and maybe it's, do I have Ibanez in here? I don't think I do. Thought I did. Maybe not. Let's go with... Do I have Fender in here? Do I have any guitar manufacturers in here? Let's go with Dean. So maybe it is a Flying V, something like that, and the customer wants one of them. And if we want, we can come over here and we can fill in the attribute. The attribute fields will appear based on the category and subcategory selections that you fill in. Let's say they're looking for good old standard black. And then we will save that, and you'll see that appears up along the top. Maybe they're also looking for something to go along with that, so we'll add a second record here. And just to go hand in hand with that, maybe maybe a tuner. We'll say it's, we'll leave the manufacturer blank, and we'll just come up here and say it's a Snark. Not any reason why you wouldn't have one of those probably in stock, but we'll fill that in as well. So let's create that. Let's exit out of here, and let's add another one just to kind of give us some extra details that we can work with when we go to search the wish list. So from here, let's go ahead and pull up, I think I've got John customer in here, if I could remember how to spell John. There we go. John Quincy customer. So maybe John is looking for a bicycle, and it's a hybrid made by Marin, and it is going to be a San Rafael, something like that. And we'll say one of those, and blue for the bike. And again, I'm just loading up some details in here. You can kind of see I'm kind of sticking, just for my benefit, to category and subcategory. Let's go ahead and add one where we know there's a model number. So let's say the model number is, trying to think if there's a model number off the top of my head. You know what? Just because I know it's in there, we'll throw it in RT14, and then one of those, just to throw it in there, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. And then let's add another one where all we might have is the manufacturer. Maybe they also want a washing machine, because this is Professor Tritech's all-purpose emporium. So we have everything. We're going to leave the category blank, and we'll save that. Okay, so we got some stuff in there. Let's take a look at how the search function works now. So anytime you want to browse the customer's wish list and see if you potentially have any products that might fulfill those desires, we can go to the wish list search. So modules, inventory, wish list, and wish list search. And basically when you come in here, if you would prefer, you can come up and you can fill in some additional details up along the top. But let's just hit refresh, and right off the bat, we're going to see some items up here. So basically what we can see here is when we hit the refresh button, we're seeing anything that might potentially meet our fulfillment, something that could potentially fulfill the customer's desires. So you can see over here on the customer column, we're going to see some details here of customer, location, quantity, SKU, description, and price. And so in the case of Mike Anderson, if we've got this first line item highlighted, we can see over here the details of what we filled in back when we put in the wish list item. So in this case, he said he was looking for a Flying V, one of those. Basically, it was a guitar in the category guitar, subcategory electric, made by Dean. Now, it's not an exact match, but we can see here that we do have an item in here. It's a Dave Mustaine classic black with case guitar. So in essence, this is something, it's not the exact match, but it's something that could potentially fulfill the customer's wish. And then going down to the John Q customer recommendation, or not recommendation, but wish list items. Here's the RT14 valve oil. I mean, that's an exact match. And then we have not a washing machine, but it is an item that I believe this is a Maytag, if I remember correctly. It's a refrigerator. Well, that's obviously not going to cut the mustard, but this is a quick way of essentially kind of drilling down and searching to a specific entry here. Now you can press F6. That's what I was trying to do up here. You can press F6 in the customer option if you want to drill down to a specific customer. So for example, let's go ahead and put in John customer and then refresh this. And we can see now we're no longer seeing Mike's listings there. We're specific to John. So we can right click on that. Let's just go ahead and clear that out. So we can press F6 and then basically just leave it empty. And then that will clear that back out. And then we can refresh, and then we can see the entries there. Devin is asking, can you search your inventory from the wish list? That is a good question. I mean, technically this listing here is what potentially could be matching based on the items over here to the right. Now, what you might find yourself a little bit, what you might find yourself doing, rather than, because this could be a pretty hefty list when you're looking at it on screen, what you may actually find is pretty helpful here, Devin, as well as everyone else in attendance, is printing this report. You can click the print button down here. Let's just show this to the screen for starters. So when you print the report, you can kind of see it's coming up with potentially found wish list items. So let's just kind of zoom in on that. We can see here's the Flying V that they're looking for. And then the potential found items. So there's the Dave Mustaine guitar. And then for the next customer, John Quincy customer, contact info, you can kind of see that's all there as well. And then there's the RT14, so then it's coming up with that exact match of the valve oil. And then in this case, the item in question that they're looking for is a washing machine made by Maytag. And then it's coming up with the potential match of the refrigerator. So in essence, this is something that you can print out. Maybe it's a little bit easier to kind of see in this printed format. You can also always export these reports to Excel, and then of course when they're in Excel you can massage them any number of ways. But that's basically what I kind of wanted to talk about here. If you've got any other questions, definitely let me know. It's pretty straightforward. This is part and parcel to every AIM system that is out there, so no additional purchases of add-on modules are necessary to take advantage of this module, of this feature. But yeah, it's basically just there so that if you want to key something in and then have it be a little bit more easily searchable, you can definitely do that. Getting back to the question there, Devin, of can you search your inventory from the wish list? Again, I'm not so sure that's kind of applicable, because basically what it's doing is it's kind of searching on your behalf. It's coming up over here with any potential matches of inventory that could fulfill the customer's desire. So yeah, I'm not sure of any other way to kind of search it from there, if that makes sense. So yeah, but that's basically how you would take advantage or make use of this wish list function. So you can periodically print this out if that would be helpful and have someone review it. This is kind of more of a manual process because it is so open-ended. It will, if I remember correctly, just come from one of my testings with the system. If there is more than one item that could potentially fulfill a customer's wish, those items will be weighted more towards the top of the listings of items that come up. I don't have a whole heck of a lot of inventory in my training copy here, my test copy. So your mileage will probably vary with your system, but yeah, basically the potential matches will show up here on this window, and then, like I said, you can print it out and check it out from there. That's basically it. I figured I'd kind of point this out just kind of as a quickie ahead of the upcoming holiday shopping season, the Black Fridays, the Cyber Mondays, the Small Business Saturdays. Of course, we do our best to try and promote as much of that as possible. But if there's any other questions, definitely let me know. And I guess I see another coming. Devin is clarifying. I was referring to when adding items to the wish list. Is there a way to search the inventory at that time? So in other words, Devin, when you're talking about when you're coming over here and actually going to the wish list and adding something from here, would there be a way of searching this inventory? So in other words, like searching it right from here, probably not. The way I think we've always kind of envisioned this function to work is you've already potentially gone in and searched your inventory. So you've gone into display inventory. You've gone through all of the potential matches here. So, like for example, the Flying V guitar. It's not coming up with anything. So if you've kind of exhausted that, you can at least go in and you can add something to the wish list at that time, so that way the wish list report can come back and say, well, here's some suggestions or any potential more meaningful matches. And again, the whole idea of that list is to be able to kind of just browse it manually with a set of human eyes and say, hey, maybe these might potentially be some either some alternatives or some some possibilities. So, but hopefully that helps there, Devin. If there's anyone else in attendance, let me know if you've got any questions. Otherwise, this might be a quickie session heading into the holiday weekend. Let's go ahead and chat a little bit about the coming month. So we're heading into December, the end of the year, and usually around this time of year, more and more stores look to what's the word I'm looking for? Just basically do physical inventory counts. It's a good practice to get done, and we do have a tried and true physical inventory process. And in the past, I have done physical inventory webinars and walkthroughs, both with and without data collectors, either doing it manually with a printout and then going through and counting all of the inventory by hand, or using a data collector and scanning it and then feeding that into the computer system. And those videos are available here on the video portal. If you go to the inventory playlist, there's the one that I did on version 12 using the data collector, as well as doing it more manually. And then if you are still on version 11 or older, there is one in the V11 archive playlist that talks about the physical inventory procedure in that older system. This year, by popular demand, we're going to go ahead and do some newer versions of those of that webinar in a live stream format. hopefully with the live stream format, we'll be able to answer more questions directly and make sure that you're getting those questions answered. By the way, I see, Devin, that you said that you do find it. You can actually do, okay. I guess that was the one field I did not try. So Devin is just mentioning, and you probably are seeing it over on the chat window, but just for the benefit of the recording, when you are in that wish list function, I guess that was the one field I did not try. When you are in the description field, you can apparently press F6 and search your inventory. So yeah, good to know. Thank you very much, Devin, for that input. So getting back to what I was just discussing about the upcoming month, we're going to be doing a series of broadcasts all about physical inventory. If you click over to the left and switch back over to my other left, the right, and switch over to the playlist tab, you'll see the upcoming schedule of live streams. We're going to break it down basically into a kind of a more piecemeal broadcast or a series of videos. So starting with just a physical inventory preparation specific session on Tuesday, December 7th, and then we'll get into kind of the more specific procedure of a physical inventory count start to finish on the Thursday, December 16th. And then we'll just kind of talk about some things to consider and kind of more of like the nuts and bolts, I guess, if you will, of our physical inventory process on Tuesday, December 21st. And I may yet have one more live stream planning in the works for the last, just to kind of wrap up December and 2021. But that being said, we're looking for some submissions of ideas for 2022 and the start of the new year. So up over here to the right is the polling tab. If you click to that, not right now, but if you click over to that, you can submit your ideas for live stream topics for the next month and the next year heading into that. So you'll be able to see any submissions that have been recently presented by our users, our AIM clientele, and you can vote on those. You can submit any additional comments on those if you desire. And then, of course, you can click the new idea button there to let me know what you're looking for as far as those ideas. So I think we'll go ahead and we'll wrap this session up. I don't see any other questions coming in. I would imagine at this point they probably would have been submitted at this time. Just like always, you'll be able to see this recording in the recent live streams tab or the recent live streams playlist back on the video page. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving break. If you do get a break, I hope you do. Some time to spend with your friends and family. I know I'll be looking forward to that, especially given the craziness that was last year at this time. And I hope you have a successful holiday season. And if there's anything we can do for you, give us a call, both to our support and our sales line. Support for any questions you have on the program, sales if there's any products or services that you can take advantage of to make your life easier from a technology perspective, whether that's forms or additional modules, additional user licenses, or even just looking into some of our Active E services like inventory downloads and e-commerce and that kind of fun stuff. And by the way, check out the video playlist option on Active E if you'd like to see some more input on some of those services. So, yeah. I hope you have a good one, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well, JP and Devin, and anyone else who's lurking in the shadows. Take care. Hope you can make it a good one, and we'll see you next month.